Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is, for those who don't know me, my name is Mose Begotti. I'm the manager and founder of Expat Italy. And today we are here to discuss about the tax return for the Partita IVA holders, for the self-employees who work under the rules of our flat rate tax regime, which is called regime forfettario. Will be, say, half an hour, 40 minutes, depending on if there are any questions. And therefore, let me highlight to you a couple of instructions. First of all, it is possible to set questions during the presentation today. So not only at the end of the presentation, but also during the presentation. It will make even easier for me because I can interrupt my own words and maybe I can read something that actually I already don't know. If you're not familiar with Microsoft Teams, there is a bar on the top of the of your screen with a button. If you click on chat, you will see a folder bar a folder panel on the right side of your screen where you can write your questions if you have any digital messaggio in Italian. Ciao. So there, you will see a pop-up in the chat bar, and then if you press on chat, hello to everyone. Also, thank you, Sabina. Hello to you. Sabina is helping me as usual with today's presentation. So if you have any questions, do not need to wait until the end of the last slide. Interrupt me at any time, and I will always constantly take a look on the right side of my panel to provide to reply to you unless the question is too difficult. Otherwise, I'm not able to. Let me remind you that this webinar is recorded, will be recorded, and will be sent to all the participants and to the clients and to the friends who are not here today. It will be possible to review this webinar once again on our YouTube channel. You will receive the link, and besides, for those of you who need to review it further. I will tell you during the presentation several times. If you have any questions at any time apart of the chat today, you can write an email to taxrate@expat.it. In the presentation, we will see exactly what the address to set your questions is. So I think we are ready to start. So with a very, very quick introduction. So first of all, especially I think this presentation is useful mainly for those who never went through a tax return via Expat, for those of you who are new, and also for those who already are well experienced with filling out and submitting a tax return in Italy. I think it is worth it to see what is changed, not only let's say tax-wise, but also expat-wise, because we introduced some innovations that I think can be even can make the experience of filling out the tax return more useful, more user-friendly, and more pleasant. Above all, this is our goal. So first of all, as of June the 30th, so by June the 30th, taxpayers will have to start paying taxes and social security contributions in Italy. Let me remind you that all of you are in Italy, you work in Italy, and you are supposed to pay two things: taxes and social security contribution, pension contributions. These ones are mandatory, even if you are not an Italian citizen. But if you work from Italy, you have to contribute to your duties. Taxes in Italy have to be paid twice every year, so by the June the 30th, so by the end of June and by the end of November. During the presentation in the following slides, we will go through these two deadlines, providing an explanation to what has to be paid in June, how to pay in June, and what you are supposed to pay in November, and if you are supposed to pay in November. The only way to calculate the right amount of taxes and pension contribution to pay is via the tax return. Your tax return must be filled every year, once every year. The tax return will include all the income that you produced in Italy, and not only in Italy. Since you are an Italian tax resident, you are also supposed to report the income you produce worldwide, if there are any additional sources of income, not only in Italy. There is only one tax return. So no more tax return, one individual, one tax return. This is the rule. We are in Italy. The tax year in Italy starts on January the 1st and ends on December the 31st. Sorry, I see a question, so please, Sabina, it is a technical question. So Annika, hello Annika, she's asking why she cannot see the presentation. I think I can see the presentation on my screen, and I'm not aware of any trouble unless the other attendants confirm that there are problems. Sabina is addressing this question, so please let us try to fix Annika's problem. Otherwise, will be very hard to follow without the presentation. Thank you, Oscar, for confirming that at least there is another one person who is able to see the presentation. So for Annika, we are just. If you can try to reboot Teams, hopefully it will work. If not, okay, together with Sabina, let us try to figure out any workaround to let you attend the presentation today. So regarding the tax year, so we are in 2025, we are supposed to report your income in 2024 from January to December. There are no other tax periods in Italy. In other countries, the tax period is different. In Italy, it's from January to December. Let us start reviewing the documents that you are supposed to share with us to let us fill out your tax return on your behalf. First of all, you are a self-employee, mainly a self-employee, so you are issuing time by time receiving some invoices. Let us focus on the most important elements of the tax return, that are the invoices that you issued. Consider that what matters is the money that you cashed, that you collected in 2024, regardless the year when you issue the invoice. So, for example, an invoice is issued in March 2024, which you cashed immediately, or you cashed the following month in April, is relevant to let us calculate your income and then your taxes in 2024. But there are also some other invoices that can be relevant or irrelevant regarding 2024. First of all, we made two examples. They might look trivial, but anyway, we made them, sorry. So example number one, you issued an invoice in December 2023, and this invoice was paid in January 2024. Pay attention, it counts in 2024. So you are supposed to pay taxes and pension contributions out of this invoice. Regarding the second example, you issued an invoice on December the 31st, 2024, or on another day of 2024, and you got paid in January 2025. this invoice, so this amount of money does not count in 2024. So you will be supposed to pay the taxes for this money in 2026, and also you are supposed to report this income in 2026 when you are supposed to fill out the tax return for 2025. So this is the rule. So consider that most of you are using Fattura in Cloud. We provided you with the license, but we only know the invoices that you issued in 2024. So via the methods we will highlight to you in the following slide to upload the invoices, we need to know what the invoices are which you cashed in 2024. So there might be a mismatch between issuance and payment, and this mismatch can be significant depending on what happened and especially what is the relationship with your clients. We said that the invoices which you issued are relevant, but also sometimes the invoices which you received. The basic rule of regime forfettario is that there is no expense which is directly deductible. So for reporting purposes only, you are supposed to report the invoices which you received in 2024, which you received and which you paid in 2024. Only those invoices which show your VAT number, your Partita IVA number. So for sure, the invoices that we issued in 2024, but we know what the invoices we issued to you are. But also if you got invoices from other entities, lawyers, notaries, whatever else, and sometimes you provide your VAT number to to Vodafone or to other entities like this one. So in this case, if you receive those kind of invoices, we need to collect them for reporting purposes only. This will not affect the calculations, but if you have them, please share them with us. Just so you know, consider that I told you before, I'm making a few comments regarding the most important information we must collect to fill out your tax return. You will receive the link at the end of the presentation to fill out a questionnaire, so will help you in discovering what are in detail the data and invoices and documents which you are supposed to share. So don't need to take particular notes because you will be guided into this process of uploading the files on our SharePoint. We try to make it easy and hopefully pleasant. So let us focus on the topics, and if you have any questions regarding this or any doubt, just feel free immediately to set a question on the using the chat bar. In terms of additional documents, so consider that news for in 2025 for those of you who submitted a tax return in 2024, and for those who have been working for Italian companies as a self-employee, you were used to receiving a document in March which is called Certificazione Unica. Consider that starting from 2025 you will no longer receive a Certificazione Unica if you are a self-employee under the rules of regime forfettario. So we will calculate your taxes based on the invoices that you issued. But if you, together with working as a self-employee under regime forfettario, you also work as an employee or you made some occasional labor or whatever, you might have received a Certificazione Unica from your employers. In this case, we need to collect the Certificazione Unica because, as I told at the beginning, there is only one tax return which must include all the incomes that you produced. If you only issue invoices under regime forfettario and you don't have any other job and you did not receive any further money from different sources, so forget about the certificazione unica. If you already worked with expat in 2024, we have of course, the track of the tax return we filled out and submitted on your behalf. If you, on the other hand, work with another commercialista and submitted a tax return in 2024, we need to collect this tax return because it is the starting point to make this the one for the new year, for 2024. Besides, also, if you paid taxes on your own via your home banking in 2024, we need to collect all the receipts, all the evidences of the taxes you paid in 2024 via your home banking. We will discuss later on how to pay your taxes. So it is probably most of you are familiar with the different methods to pay taxes in Italy and also by expat, but consider that even if you were an expat client in 2024 and you decided to pay on your own, we need to collect the receipt which you can download from your home banking. For all three, consider that among the things we will ask you, we will ask if you can grant us access to your area by Agenzia delle Entrate. In Italian, it is called cassetto fiscale. If you have a SPID identity in Italy, SPID, and that can happen if you are an Italian resident, so if you have maybe either an Italian carta d'identità or at least a tessera sanitaria, we will share an easy procedure, very easy procedure and straightforward to grant us access to your cassetto fiscale. Having access to cassetto fiscale is a game changer because it allows us to download the certificazione unica, if there are any, to download the previous tax returns, to download the taxes that you paid and taxes and pension contribution the year before. So you will be asked from my colleagues if you have SPID. If you have SPID, please follow the quick procedure you will receive because it will really help you spending so less time in providing us with the data we need to fill out your tax return. Regarding social pension contributions, consider that if you work as a self-employee in Italy, 99% of our clients are enrolled in INPS, so it is the public entity for to manage pension contribution. Most of you are enrolled in gestione separata. That is the typical basket for the contributions paid by self-employees who are basically professionals. So we are not talking about dealers or artisans. We are talking about social media managers, translators, whatever it is. Whatever you are doing or whatever it is. In this case, consider that if you are under this gestione separata, when we collect the data of the taxes you paid, we will also collect the data of the pension contribution you paid in 2024. There are other cases. Sorry, let me drink some tea. If you are an architect, an engineer, a veterinarian, a doctor, or some other professions, consider that you might be supposed to pay your pension contribution to some private funds, Impulse, Inner Cassa, and so on. In this case, we don't have access to the information of the contributions you paid to your private pension fund. In this case, consider that this fund already shared with you a certificate stating the contributions you made in 2024. If it is your case, consider that we must collect this data. If you have any doubt also in the following weeks, that feel free to drop an email, to send an email to taxrate@expat.it. One rule applicable to US citizens and dual Italian US American citizens. There is an agreement in place between Italy and the United States of America. It's called totalization. For those people, it is still possible to keep paying their pension contribution to the United States of America rather than paying them in Italy, even if they work in Italy with an Italian Partita IVA. This kind of agreement is only in place with the United States of America, so we are not aware of other agreements with other countries which allow taxpayers to keep paying their pension contribution in their country of origin. So if you are a US citizen or a dual citizen, consider that if you were not aware, just we can talk about that. You can avoid paying pension contribution to Italy. In this case, we must collect a document issued by the American authorities. It is called Certificate of Coverage, and this document proves that you are paying your pension contribution in America also out of the income you produce in Italy. If you don't know how to get the certificate of coverage, consider that we are working together with an American accountancy firm in Europe, which can be helpful for sure to get this certificate of coverage for you. Family. So for reporting purposes, if you are married, we need to collect the codice fiscale of your husband or of your wife. If you have any children, we have to make the same. So for reporting purposes only, we need to collect the codice fiscale of the other family members together with you. Other types of income. So as I said, if you are purely if your income is only deriving from regime forfettario, that is basically the rule for us, so you don't have any additional income. On the other hand, if you are together with regime forfettario, you are also an employee, or you receive a pension, or you made some occasional labor, or you're an unemployment check. Also, if since you are an Italian tax resident and you are supposed to report your foreign income as well, we need to collect all the evidences stating these additional incomes. You will be guided through the questionnaire we will share to discover if you have any other income to report. Probably, if you have any additional income, you are aware of it. So if you get something else, consider that it is the time when to report this to us, because we need to fill out the tax return for you. Only if you have some additional income, so because if your income is only under the flat rate tax regime, there is nothing else to deduct. So no healthcare, no veterinary, no other expenses to deduct. But if you produce any further income, consider that you are also allowed to partially deduct part of the other expenses. In Italy, we have a huge list of expenses which are partially deductible: healthcare, veterinary, public transportations, home renovations, and so on. These are the major ones. So again, if you have any additional income, mainly if you are an employee as well, or if you receive the pension or whatever else, also submit the deductible, some deductible expenses. I have a question from Oscar, so I will thank you, Oscar, for setting the question. Would, for instance, interest on savings held in bank accounts abroad be considered foreign income? Yes, if let's say that the typical cases of foreign income are financial incomes. There are mainly for foreign workers in Italy. There are several who rent an apartment outside of Italy, so the rental, so the money that they get out of the rental of their house is taxable in Italy. And also, if you have savings outside of Italy, so if you produce interest, capital gains, dividends, or other forms of income deriving from your foreign assets, they are taxable in Italy as well. We will address it specifically in the following slides, because if you have financial assets outside of Italy, you not only have to report your foreign income, but also you have to report the value of the assets itself, because it must be reported as well. There are also some wealth taxes in Italy out of the foreign assets. You're welcome, Oscar. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. So that's it for so Annika, I wanted to ask, thank you for setting the question. I wanted to ask the same. Thanks, Oscar. Is there a minimum threshold per year before you have to declare such income? Let's say you get 20 euro interest per year. Do I need to declare this for 20 euro? I mean, let us say that there is no threshold for this kind of income. So if it is 20 euros, in theory, you must report this income, and out of 20 euros, taxes are 26%, so 1/4, so approximately 5 euros, something more, 5 comma something. I think that your time is more worthy than this information. But consider that we need to be compliant, and we help the clients to be compliant. But so to reply without any further comment, if it is a real example, you are supposed to declare these 20 euros. Of course, if we are talking about higher amounts of money, there is one reason more to declare. Consider that the fines are always proportional to the taxes that you don't pay. So in this case, these amounts are completely irrelevant. So of course, it's not the time when to disclose how much money you make in interest every year. But if it is a cash account, consider that this is the typical interest you receive. So we will collect this information, and if there is anything to pay, we will definitely we will report it. Thank you for setting the question, Annika. Let us go further with properties. So what happens if I am the owner of a house in Italy? What happens if I'm renting an apartment in Italy? So first of all, let us start if you are the tenant of an apartment. So you work in Italy, you rent an apartment, you pay the rental every month. So consider that you can only partially deduct something from this rental, even if you are regime forfettario only. So in this case, there is something that you can recover. So this can be helpful to reduce the taxes that you have to pay. We need to collect the contract which you signed with the landlord, and the proof of registration by Agenzia delle Entrate. Usually the landlord is the one in charge to register the contract. If we have access to Cassetto Fiscale, as I mentioned before, we are able to download the registration by ourselves. If you have it, just feel free to share it with us together with the other documents. If you don't have the registration and the contract was not registered, consider that there is nothing to deduct. So if you have any doubt, ask us or talk to your landlord, and then you will see. I would say that based on our experience, 99% of the contracts are registered. Besides, if you have an apartment or a land in Italy, we are supposed to report this property in the tax return. If we already made your tax return in 2024 and nothing changed, consider that you don't need to submit these documents, any further document. If something changed, or if you bought a house in 2024, or if you sold a house in Italy in 2024, you need to provide us some evidences, because we have to report it properly in your tax return. Besides, if you are renting your property in Italy, consider that this rental is taxable in Italy. There might be long-term rentals, short-term rentals, whatever contract is possible in Italy. So in this case, if you're renting an apartment, we need to collect mainly the contract which you signed with the tenants and the proof of the registration. If you don't have any property, there is nothing to report. So that's it for properties and rents. Foreign assets. So we briefly introduced them for Oscar and Danica, who had questions on this topic. So as an Italian tax resident, first consider that you are supposed to report your foreign assets, so mainly financial investment and houses outside of Italy. This is the typical. So if you have a bank account, a saving account, a cash account, or some financial relations with some major investment banks, if you have a small house or a big house, if you have a land, if you have cryptos, if you have gold, if you have some drawings, valuable drawings in Paris or somewhere else, consider that they must be reported in Italy. We made some examples depending on the kind of asset. We need to evaluate the value of this asset, and we must report the value at the beginning of 2024 and at the end of 2024. If there is any income in between, and if you are an Italian tax resident, you must pay taxes out of this income, the example we made with Annika before. If there is no income because you have a cash account which provides no interest at all, so we will only report these values. There might be some wealth taxes in Italy to pay for bank accounts, for something, for lands and for properties. In this case, we will make the appropriate calculations according to the information you provide to us. You will be guided via in the questionnaire we will share, and so if you have any doubt before uploading the document, feel free to ask to taxrate@expat.it. So these are the major documents you are supposed to share with us. You will receive the questionnaire in the following days. Consider that in the month of April, I will highlight the process in the following slides. We will make sure that you uploaded everything we need. We will then elaborate your tax return, and well before the deadline of June the 30th, you will discover how much you are supposed to pay at these deadlines. And this is a process that we have been following for years now. Some additional information about advance payments, down payments. They are crucial to understand the tax return in Italy, what you are supposed to pay in June, what you are supposed to pay in November, and how to pay your taxes. These are the three topics left to discuss today. First of all, advance payments. This is, you need to have the black belt in karate to understand what we are talking about, but consider that in Italy, we are in 2025, so you are supposed to report the taxes for 2024, but also to make a down payment for 2025. So let us assume it is the first year you are reporting your taxes. So, and let us assume that in 2024 your income was 100. So more or less you are supposed to pay probably something like 25 for 2024. Consider that in 2025, on top of this 25, you are also supposed to pay an additional 25 for 2025. It is a down payment. the easiest way to calculate it is to assume that your 2025 income will be equal to the 2024 one. It's, I mean, easiest assumption. Let us assume that you're compliant, you make it. So we are then let us move to the future. So we are in 2026. We are there to report the 2025 income. And let us also assume that for real, the 2025 income was exactly the same as 2024. So in this case, you will next year, you will don't have to pay taxes for 2025 because you already made the down payment in 2025. You are only supposed to make a down payment for 2026, and so and so and so and so for the rest of your life, unless there are some changes. Probably will happen, positive, hopefully. This is in case of, let's say, on an ongoing working business in Italy. Let us assume that you terminated your Partita IVA, so your VAT number in December 2024 or in February 2025, or you are planning to terminate your Partita IVA in 2025 on June the 30th, for example, because you're leaving Italy or because you will start working as an employee. In this case, consider that we must be aware of your plans, not in detail, but at least that you plan to produce 50% of your income in 2025 compared with 2024, because in this case, we will reduce the down payment that you are supposed to pay in 2025 to avoid you having a major tax credit with the Italian Agenzia delle Entrate. Italy is very slow to refund the credits. Consider that there is room for mistakes. If in the end the down payment will be lower than what the government expects, or if you pay zero, make zero down payment, but then in the end there is an income in 2025 which is above the expectations or above what you told us to calculate the down payment, there will be fines. We are talking about roughly 10% of the down payment which you did not pay in 2025 with some interest. Consider that I mean the amount of the fines are always proportional to the taxes. So if we are talking about small amounts, we are talking about small fines. If you are talking about something material, consider that also fines can be material. So my suggestion, unless you really know that you are leaving Italy, or if you know that you will terminate your VAT position in 2025, make the down payment based on the easiest assumption that your 2025 income is the same, will be the same as of 2024. If you have any doubt, you know the address now. You can write an email to taxrate@expat.it. Installment. So now we understood the documents we have to upload. We understood these down payments are complicated, but okay, I trust Expat. We know that we have to make this and that. So what to pay? So two deadlines, 30th of June and 30th of November. 30th of June. So you are supposed to pay the taxes for 2024. And the first, so 50% of the down payment for 2025. The June part can either be paid in one single installment, everything by June the 30th. Nothing prevents you from paying ahead of schedule. Or you can split the payment into monthly installments. It could be useful mainly if you were not able, or if life brought you for not being able to save. So in this case, you can split the amount due in two installments, so June the 30th and July the 16th, or three installments, four installments, up to 6 monthly, more or less monthly installments, according to the plan you can see in this slide. regarding the November part, so the second installment for the second part of the 2025 down payment due by November the 30th, you cannot split it into installments, so it must be paid by the deadline of November the 30th. I have a question. The deadline for the 2024 taxes is June 2025. The advance payment deadline is in November 2025. So again, thank you for the question. Consider that June 2025 is the deadline for 2024 and for 50% of the 2025 down payment. November, you are supposed to pay the other 50% of the down payment. The way we work, we are once we collect all your data, so we will work on your numbers by, let's say, the end of May, depending on how fast you are in providing the documents. So we will tell you how much you are supposed to pay in June and in November, so that you can plan already how much you have to pay between June and November. We will also ask you if you would like to divide the payment into installments, if you want to pay in one solution, so you know everything that you have to know to make a proper financial planning from June to November. This is the way we are used to working, and I think that it was we always found it positive for the clients, because there are basically no other taxes to consider by the end of the year. How to pay taxes? So if you have an Italian bank account, easy. You can either pay on your own. We will share the F24 modules for you to report in your home banking. Easy. Easy if you have an Italian bank account and if you are familiar in paying taxes in Italy. If you have an Italian bank account but you don't want to learn how to pay taxes in Italy, I think there are so many more interesting things to learn, not only in Italy, rather than paying your taxes on your own. In this case, it is possible for us to set an automatic charge on your bank account. In this case, together with the other documents and together with the other information, we need to collect your IBAN code of your Italian bank account. In this case, the amount of taxes, depending on how if you split it into installments or not, depending on the amount we agreed, we will never ask Agenzia delle Entrate to charge any money on your bank account without your explicit permission. Consider that we can make it. It is the easiest way to pay taxes. Regarding it does not work 100% of the time, not because of Agenzia delle Entrate, but for example, there were cases in the past. People had 1,000 euros funds on their bank account and taxes due were 2,000. So there is no partial charge. If you don't have enough funds, it does not work. So it will be your responsibility to check the day after if the charge occurred, and if it was according, and if it did not occur, you need to take action together with us to recover the amount basically which you did not pay at the deadline we agreed. Other cases, if you set some limits together with your banker so that they are not allowed to pay more than 1,500 euros per time, and you have to pay 2,000 euros taxes, consider that the automatic charge does not work. So if you already made it last year, you know that in the end we managed to let it work. If it is the first year, your responsibility is to check that it worked on your bank account. If not, take action immediately. There is no drama, and nothing happens if you pay even a few days after the deadline. There are fines, but these fines are peanuts, so nothing absolutely to worry about. The This system does not work if you have Revolut or other N26 account or something similar. So this system works if you have, let's say, a regular bank account in Italy. So this guy, they don't speak English, so it's quite difficult to have this kind of bank accounts. But let us assume that you have one of them. Okay, there will be no problem. You can either pay on your own, or we can let Agenzia delle Entrate charge your bank account. If you don't have this kind of account, or if you still have only an American account or a German account, whatever, you can pay your taxes. In this case, we provide the services of paying the taxes for you after receiving the funds. After you transfer the money to our bank account, we pay the taxes on your behalf, and of course we share the receipt to show that we paid for you. This service has a cost. It is a 1% service fee on top of the yearly fee that you are supposed to pay after we complete our job. It is a 1% service fee which will be added to each F24 module up to a maximum of 30 euros plus VAT plus IVA. So this is for paying taxes. So what to do now? So first of all, if you have any, I see there are some questions coming, so I will reply. If there are some other people who would like to set questions, just start dropping your typing your emails, because we are close to the end of this presentation. So let me introduce you this slide, and then I will go through the question which I can see on the and you can see on the chat bar, on the chat panel. So what to do now? First of all, you will receive in the following days an email with a form to fill in. This form will give us all the relevant information to file your tax return correctly, and it will be a very useful guide for you also to understand what the documents are to collect and to share with us via our SharePoint. If you don't receive anything in the following days, just give a look at the spam. So hopefully we are not in the spam folder, but this can happen. So in this case, add our addresses to the safe senders list, so that you don't miss any information. So consider that this will happen in the following days. Together with the form, you will have access to our SharePoint, where you can download our tutorials, ready to use, easy to use. The purpose of these tutorials is to provide you some tips and tools to ease in your life. Also, we mentioned the access of your area by Agenzia delle Entrate. So if you want us to have access to it, we will share a tutorial how to make it, and it will be super easy. Together with the form, you will also receive a link to upload the documents. For safety reasons, we prefer not to exchange documents via email, but we prefer to get them uploaded on our SharePoint. If you have several documents, you can zip them all together into a zip file or into a RAR file, and you can upload it, and then we will download it and work on your tax return. If you have any doubt, again, feel free to write an email to taxret@expat.it. So let me go through a few questions. So does Easy Bank work? I had asked before, and I saw on the website of the bank itself that it supports F24 modules. Do you have experience charging directly on an Easy Bank account? So if it supports the payment of F24, it's great, but not necessarily works with automatic charge. There is a list of banks which have an agreement with Agenzia delle Entrate. So if you don't mind, Vittore, to send to drop us a quick email with one line reminding us to check. We can check if EasyBank works with automatic charge. We will check it directly with the Agenzia delle Entrate, and then we will reply to you. Then Fereshte, good afternoon. So regarding the foreign assets, I have a further question. The bank told that holds my savings abroad pays the interest, and they already deducted tax on the interest. So what I earn is already taxed by that country in which I have the bank account. In this case, will I be double taxed in Italy, or is it possible to prove that I already paid the tax on the interest earned? Consider that there are double taxation is possible in these cases. Consider that depending on what the country is, there are agreements between Italy and the other countries to avoid double taxation. So we will get through the agreement and tell you if the taxes you paid in the other countries were appropriate or not, if you can recover something in the other country or in Italy, just to take into account double taxation. So it's difficult to provide a general answer, so we need to speak to address this in detail. In the module you are supposed to share with us together with the documents, feel free to add some notes or to together with uploading the document to fill some notes like this one, so that we know that we must address it specifically. So consider that there will always be a human being working behind your documents, because we try to make an automatic method to get the documents, but Italy is complicated. We will also have someone, an operator, who will be able to, let's say, to rationalize the information, but in the end there will always be a CPA, an accountant, a commercialist who is in charge to fill out your tax return. So in this case, we will check it very carefully, help us to address any specific question. So at least you told us pay attention to double taxation. I hope it clarifies Fereshte, but I think it is so detailed that we must address it when dealing with your tax return. If you pay in several installments via expat, do you pay the 30 euros max fee every time? The 30 euros max depends on how high is the installment, because if the 1% is lower than 30 euro, you pay less. Consider that every time we are paying taxes for you, there is a procedure. We need to check if you transfer the money, if it is exactly the money we expected, and we have to fill an F24 module, and we have to pay it on your behalf and to check if the payment occurred properly. So if you decide to split your taxes into 6 installments, for example, we will charge 6 times the amount, which will derive from the formula which I shared a few minutes ago. Fiona, so in the last year I've been using an N26 or Revolut Bank, and I've been receiving payment through there. Is it too late to set up an Italian bank account before the tax? It's not too late. Thank you for the question, Fiona. It's not too late, definitely, to set up an Italian bank account. Consider that the problem with Italian banks is that if you are an Italian resident, so if you have an Italian ID card and you are familiar with Italian language, it will be definitely easy. It takes a few days to get an Italian bank account. If you don't have an Italian ID card, and also if you don't master the Italian language, it's difficult. Not because it takes decades to get an Italian bank account, but because unfortunately the quality of the bankers, especially for non-Italian speakers, is very poor. So in any case, consider that it is possible to go with the solution we mentioned that we tested for many years, and it saves the life of many people who are unfortunately not able to open a bank account in Italy. But the option you suggest is the best one, also because having an Italian bank account is also will ease in your life in making many other things in Italy. Regarding INPS contribution, for how many years do I need to contribute to INPS to be eligible for an Italian pension? I know that there is a minimum like 5 years in other countries. So there is no minimum at all in Italy. So if you contribute for 1 year, once you retire, you will get a pension in the other country, also taking into consideration that single year of contribution to Italy. In Europe, we mentioned the totalization agreement between Italy and the United States of America. There is another totalization agreement with same name, but it is another thing, and it is among Italy and the other European countries. So let us assume you retire in Germany or in the Netherlands. In this case, consider that there will be only one country, so the last country, to pay your pension. This pension will take into consideration the contribution you paid not only in Germany, for example, but also in Italy, in Portugal, in Spain, and so in the other countries which belong to the agreement. And then it will be Germany claiming this money from the Italian authorities. Consider that it is common now that people work in several countries before retiring. These agreements are in place not only with in Europe, but also between Europe and Mexico, Europe and Japan, Europe and United Kingdom. So consider that you are not wasting your money at all, even if you pay your pension contribution only for 1 year or for a couple of years. You're welcome, Fereste. Might be a little off topic, but you talked about gestione separata dell'INPS. Is this something you are automatically enrolled in, or do you need to do something special for that? Consider that every time, thank you, Desiree, for your question. So every time we create a partita IVA, it is in the contract you sign with expat, unless you are American or US American, or unless you are and you opted for totalization agreement, and unless you are, let's say, a professional, so supposed to pay taxes to a private fund, we enroll clients into the gestione separata dell'INPS. If you have any doubt, just feel free to drop us an email and we will share the certificate of the INPS enrollment. It is our procedure. So if you drop an email to taxrate@expat.it, we will check it very quickly and we will reply in the next hours. So thank you, Annika and Desiree, for setting questions. In the end, we managed to make it a little bit more interactive than usual. So, and I was also happy to discover myself that I'm able to reply to the question. And thank you, Oscar, for the compliments. But it is not over. We still have a couple of slides. So, any doubt? I'm boring. So taxrate@expat.it. Expat, we are humans. We are proud to be humans. I think it's our new motto. So we work with artificial intelligence, but we are human beings. It means that we try to be efficient. We use these technological tools to speed up our replies, but there is always a person in charge of replying, and we love our clients, and we try to reply within 24 hours. So that's it. If you set a lunar question, a very difficult question, maybe it will take a few more hours to reply, but this is what we tend to make, and try also to let's say, to accomplish every time we deal and interact with the new clients. Tax returns will be processed in chronological order upon receiving the documents. So let us assume that you are super fast to spend your weekend in working on the documents you are supposed to upload to us after receiving the questionnaire. So consider that on Monday you will receive nothing, because we are still at the beginning of April, and Agenzia delle Entrate just released the new software to fill out and report their tax return. So it will take few weeks to have the software ready, but consider that if you are among the first ones to share the documents, you will be, as soon as we are ready to fill out the tax return, you will receive the outcome. In any case, we ensure we made it also in the past, and also this is my spirit. I know that I have to tell you that I have to pay taxes. The earlier, the sooner I tell you, the sooner we close the deal, and also the earlier I can issue to you an invoice, and I get paid, and I can get a holiday. So it is a mutual interest to start and finish as soon as possible. If you have any urgency, because either you need a tax return to renew your stay permit in Italy, permesso di soggiorno, or you are applying for a mortgage in Italy, or for some financing, let us know, because in this case, of course, there is you will be, no matter when you submit the documents, but if you need your tax return for these important matters, we will try to speed up the process for you even further. Just be, be cautious in telling us a real urgency, because this will allow us to be fast for you, and so to lay the other way. If it is urgent for everybody, we will slow down the process for everybody, but it never happens. So just so you know. Q&A time. I already replied to several questions. If you have any further, taxrete@expat.it for all the answers. You, in the following days, you will receive from us. If you don't receive anything, take a look, give a look at your at the spam box. So maybe we are there, and try. If there is a safe sender list, please add us to us. It is quite depressing to be in the spam. So. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for the time you spent with us. Thank you for to Sabina, to Nicolò, and to the other people of the organization in the presentation. And thank you, thank you, Annika, that I was reassuring. Tax return in Italy is complicated, but not as so complicated as people think, and we try to make it easy and pleasant. Thank you for clapping your hands. Thank you very much. I wish you a nice evening, and let us meet very soon with other boring stuff from Italy. Bye bye. Have a nice afternoon. Bye bye.